Hello, this is Words for Wednesday, and I'm Tom Doherty. I'd like to take Words for Wednesday today and connect it with the sermon that I preached this last Sunday at Mancelona. They come from Joshua 1. Moses had just passed away, and Joshua was taking the leadership role over the people of Israel. They were once again poised to go into the Promised Land, and you remember a generation ago, they were poised to go into the Promised Land as well, and they sent out 12 spies. 10 came back with an evil report, and 2 came back with a good report. Because of that, the people didn't go into the Promised Land, and God had them wander in the wilderness for a generation. As God spoke to Joshua in Joshua 1, he tells him to go into the land that he promised, he and the people. He addressed the fears that they had by saying to them, "Be strong and courageous." He tells them 3 times in those first 8 verses, be strong and courageous. On the face of it, it doesn't seem very helpful to tell somebody who's afraid, be strong and courageous. We overcome fear by seeing the situation differently, by having training to deal with the situation, by experiences that help us develop what we need to deal with the situation. Maybe today you're feeling fearful, or maybe today you're just feeling wore out with the load that you have. You might be going through something hard in your professional life or your personal life or in ministry. And sometimes there's not anything really wrong. Things are going really good in terms of what's going on in your life, but there are challenges even when things are going well. But you just feel wore out and don't have the energy to handle all those good challenges or those heavy challenges. Whatever you're facing today, God told Joshua the answer, and he repeated it in the New Testament. He told Joshua that he was going to be with him. And in Matthew 28:20, Jesus, after telling us and his disciples and those that were present at the time to go out and make disciples, that he would be with them and us until the end of the age. Jesus promised to send his Holy Spirit in Acts chapter 1, and we see the fulfillment of that promise first in Acts chapter 2 when he poured out his Spirit on Peter and the folks that were listening to his sermon. And we see it again in Acts chapter 10 when Peter was talking to the people in Cornelius' home and he poured out his Spirit on the Gentiles. And then all through Acts we see people being filled with the Spirit. You don't have to be strong and courageous in your own strength. In fact, you're not intended to be strong and courageous in your own strength. Strength and courage come from being in relationship with Jesus Christ and through the infilling of his Holy Spirit. Connect with Jesus. Spend time with him in prayer. Read his words. Let it infill you. So go into the land God has promised you. Go to the place where the vision of God is, where he's tugging on your heart to go in and handle whatever is there. Be strong and courageous in those places, in relationship with Jesus Christ and his Holy Spirit. This is Words for Wednesday, brought to you by Every Church Grows. Go out into the place that God's called you. Be filled with his Spirit. Be strengthened by his word. Be strong and courageous. I'm Tom Doherty. Have a great week.